It's rom-com month here at Building Characters, and I directed our first skit, Rom-Com Gone Wrong, and I'm gonna tell you all about it. So yeah, it's rom-com month, and we had our first little meeting about it not too long ago, and a little bit of information I gleaned during that was that somehow I've actually seen more rom-coms than everyone else in our group. So what I really want to talk about, though, is my experience directing what is actually my first skit or film thing ever. Directing is actually the thing I'm most passionate about when it comes to filmmaking in general. I've always wanted to direct movies ever since I was a little kid, and that's honestly the main reason I joined Building Characters, so I get more experience practicing doing what I love. Now, having said that, all of January, I actually never got a chance to direct anything. But this month, I really wanted to try stepping up and directing one of the skits myself, so I directed our first one in February, Rom-Com Gone Wrong, and that may or may not have been the fifth take I did saying that because it is a tongue twister. Overall, I'm really happy with how the short turned out, but I definitely learned a lot, this being the first time that I've ever directed a film. Now, I have a lot of experience actually doing theater on stage, and I've done some directing with that, and I've acted a lot in different things, but I've never really taken the step to doing it for film. And even though there are obviously a lot of similarities between the two, there are a lot of differences as well. One of the biggest takeaways I left the set with was the importance of rehearsal and time constraints when you're shooting on location. You might have noticed for this short that we were filming at a local coffee shop here, Angel Island Coffee, and they were very, very gracious to let us shoot there, so thank you. But not thinking about it, when we showed up at 4:30, I set up the shot so that we were looking at some of the windows in the background, and since we filmed from 4:30 to 6:30, a certain something happened during that time, which is the sun went down. So the skit, which is only supposed to be 2.5 minutes long, a very keen observer might be able to notice in the background the outside goes from being daytime to nighttime. So when on location, I definitely need to figure out how to maximize my time more efficiently so I don't have to flex my editing skills quite as much. Because we hadn't rehearsed the skit really throughout the week much, we did all of our rehearsal before we shot there on location, so it ate away quite a bit of our daylight. One aspect of directing that I've always really enjoyed is interacting with actors and kind of using it as a collaborative process to really bring out the best performances that they can give. I really enjoyed working with Amanda and Caitlin as a director this time around. Usually I'm having to be in a scene with them, and often it involves me yelling a lot or freaking out or killing everyone with a lightsaber. I'm working on it. We'll see what happens this month. But Caitlin and Amanda were really awesome. They really kind of rose to everything that I was throwing at them, and I threw quite a bit at them, but I think the skit turned out really well ultimately. I really only have one other issue, and it's this unfortunate filming error that I didn't notice while we were on set, and I tried to cover up with editing.
What does he do for a living?
So yeah, that cut is pretty dang jarring, and the issue was that we filmed those first two sequences of their conversation in two different takes, and in between the two takes I accidentally nudged the tripod a little bit so that the cut between the two was very jarring. So we took this shot of Amanda reacting, which was actually later on, and we put it here to try and smooth it over, but it's still, I'm not super happy with it. Overall, though, as a first film, I think it went pretty good. Now, I'm a pretty harsh self-critic, so my bar is pretty low on this one, but I definitely learned a lot, and I'm hoping to apply it to the next thing I direct here at Building Characters. So yeah, that was my experience filming my first skit. I definitely learned a lot, and it's a small stepping stone, but it's the first stepping stone of me learning how to try and be the best director that I can. As always, like and subscribe, and also leave a comment down below telling me if there's something else you notice in the short that I might want to fix next time. And please don't worry about hurting my feelings because you're gonna do it anyway. I don't take criticism very well. Case in point, every week they tell me here that my vlogs are too long, and I'm like, ha ha ha, you can't stop me. And then they're like, if your vlog's over 5 minutes this week, you're fired. And what I say to that is, Ha!